We know, as you mentioned, he has visited the New Orleans Saints. Sounds like that went very well. They are very much in the mix here. Derek Carr, I think, makes a ton of sense for the Jets.
Raiders' former franchise quarterback Derek Carr is visiting the New York Jets right now. We know recently Derek Carr visited the Saints, and Cam Jordan even tried to recruit this guy on social media. But the Jets definitely want Derek Carr, especially if Aaron Rodgers is not an option because he's too busy at darkness retreats. And most Jets fans are delighted to have Derek Carr because he is an obvious upgrade over Zach Wilson. But we're going to talk about the Jets through the perspective of Derek Carr and why the New York Jets are the perfect place for Derek Carr to get revenge on his former team and head coach Josh McDaniels. We know the Raiders got rid of Derek Carr unceremoniously. They benched the guy. They did not even let him play the last 2 games of the season. And even with missing 2 games, he was still 14th in passing touchdowns and 15th in passing yards. And we know Derek Carr did not get along with head coach Josh McDaniels, and it seemed like with the 1 year out in Derek Carr's contract, Josh McDaniels never wanted this guy anyway. There have been reports that Derek Carr had less freedom at the line of scrimmage, and even David Carr confirmed this on NFL Network.
You got veteran guys, they want some control at the line of scrimmage. They want to be able to utilize their superpower, and that skill wasn't utilized in Las Vegas under Josh McDaniels, and that's fine.
And Todd Downing is now the passing game coordinator for the New York Jets, and he was the quarterback coach for Derek Carr and the Oakland Raiders in 2015, 2016, before getting promoted and becoming the offensive coordinator for Derek Carr and the Oakland Raiders in 2017 under head coach Jack Del Rio. And Todd Downing was known for giving Derek Carr freedom at the line of scrimmage. And this is interesting to think about, especially given David Carr's comments on Derek's lack of freedom. According to The Athletic, there was even a disagreement between head coach Josh McDaniels and Derek Carr for changing up plays in the scheme in the Seattle Seahawks game, even though they went on to win that game. Some believe the Raiders head coach is just a control freak. And by the way, Todd Downing has a lot of respect for Derek Carr. You heard it when he was facing the Raiders this year as the offensive coordinator of the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, Derek and I have a great relationship. He's a wonderful human being, as I know you guys have seen. Derek is one of those guys that is a perfectionist, a pleaser. He wants to try to improve, at every turn. And so it was really fun coaching him. So as a player, a very dedicated player. As a man, an even more impressive human being, and somebody that I consider a close friend.
But unfortunately, he hit the bottle a little too much after a game and got busted for driving under the influence, which led to him joining the New York Jets instead. And so not only will Derek Carr be reuniting with a close friend in Todd Downing, but other former Raiders on the New York Jets, like former defensive captain for the Oakland Raiders, free safety LaMarcus Joyner, who played with Derek Carr in 2019 and 2020. But if Derek Carr does join the New York Jets, it will hands down be the best defense he's ever had on his team in his 9-year career. The Raiders defense has always been one of the last, straight up last in the whole entire NFL. And the Jets defense has players like Sauce Gardner, Quinnen Williams, and yes, CJ Mosley. This would be absolutely insane. And don't even get me started on the offensive weapons that Derek Carr would have with the Jets. Keep in mind, in 2019, Antonio Brown, well, he called the GM of the Raiders at the time a cracker and ended up leaving the team. So Derek Carr really had no offensive weapons in 2019 until Darren Waller and Hunter Renfrow started to emerge. And this year, outside of Davante Adams, Derek Carr really didn't get to play with Hunter Renfrow or Darren Waller. Davante Adams, Hunter Renfrow, and Darren Waller were only on the field together for roughly 64 snaps all year. So Derek Carr would have tons of weapons with the New York Jets, which include Breece Hall, and you have Garrett Wilson, one of the rising receivers in the NFL, along with Elijah Moore, who desperately wants the football even more. And Garrett Wilson of the Jets was recently asked where he thinks Derek Carr is going, and he gave, the obvious answer.
Derek Carr.
Jets.
But I think Derek Carr is going to visit more teams before he makes his decision. When you look at the free agent QB market, Derek Carr is straight up #1 on the list. Jimmy Garoppolo, we know he has injury problems, and fans really want Derek Carr. You even have Ravens fans saying that they would want Derek Carr if the Ravens move on from Lamar. The question is for Jets fans, with Todd Downing, the Raiders did decline on the offensive side of the ball in 2017 when he was the offensive coordinator. Is this because Derek Carr had too much freedom? I don't exactly think think so. Derek Carr had a broken back the majority of the season and was still able to have a miracle win against the Kansas City Chiefs that year. And to be completely honest, there were some things going on with politics. The kneeling situation was getting crazy, and a lot of people believe that Jack Del Rio, because he was espousing political views, did sort of lose the locker room in 2017. And this was very clear in the Washington game early in the season. This led to players like Michael Crabtree caring more about getting into fights on the field than the actual freaking game. The most important thing about Derek Carr is he was on the up and up in 2021. He was leading the #1 passing offense when Henry Ruggs and John Gruden were still there. The year prior, he had gone toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes, going 1-for-1 against him and nearly beating him the second time. And even though Henry Ruggs would have his tragic incident and John Gruden would be removed from the Raiders head coaching position, Derek Carr still led them to the playoffs in 2021, and that was without Darren Waller. Zay Jones was still there, but because of the absence of Henry Ruggs, the Raiders had to sign Deshaun Jackson last minute, and Derek Carr still made it work with this cast. And this past year, with Devontae Adams under Josh McDaniels, has been Derek Carr's worst season statistically since his rookie year. And if you look at his whole entire resume, this past season is clearly an outlier, and he's tried to hint to us over time that something is going on that he doesn't want to talk about. And he even said he's not going to tell his side of the story, which implies that there is a different side of the story. It wasn't just that he couldn't get genius Josh McDaniels' offense.
I'm grateful for everyone that reached out that wanted to give me the platform to share my side, but I just don't feel like I should. I don't plan on ever really talking about it unless I get crazy and write a book someday. I don't plan on ever really talking about it unless I get crazy and write a book someday.
But the primary reason that the Jets are the perfect place for Derek Carr to get revenge on Josh McDaniels and the Raiders is because they actually play the Raiders next year. Yes, the Jets are going to be one of the opponents of the Raiders in Las Vegas. And if Derek Carr went on to join the Saints, they would not play each other in 2023. So not only is there a loaded defense, a lot of young talent on the offensive side of the football, and a clear need at the quarterback position and a relationship with somebody who's part of the offensive passing game like Todd Downing, but you also have the opportunity for sweet, sweet revenge, and maybe Derek Carr won't pass that up. So we'll see if the Jets are a great place for Derek Carr, or maybe he'll go on and choose the Saints, but I think it's going to be a long process. He's going to be very selective because there are tons of teams that need a quarterback in the NFL right now who are not going to be drafting in the top 10. Either way, if you want more NFL content like this from me, make sure you like this video if you have not yet, and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. My name is WiFiWillie. Peace out, and I hope you have a good one.